Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today's video is very special. I'm bringing you probably one of the most important videos I'll ever produce on my channel. I'm bringing you an in-depth movement guide in Apex Legends. And we're going to start from the easiest techniques to some of the hardest in the game right now. So I do have to warn you, if you guys are not playing on 4-finger claw, it's going to be a little tough for you. And I highly suggest you start learning it as soon as possible. This game has a very high skill gap and a lot of buttons that you need to push. So you need multiple fingers. So anyways, we're going to get into it. But before we do that, if you guys have not already, definitely hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have a ton more tutorials coming out very soon during this next week. And I want you guys to let me know what you want to see in the comments section below. I'm going to try to make this video short and sweet. So let's get into it right now. And the first movement technique that I would love to show you guys is actually the slide jump. Now, this is the building block for everything else in today's video. It's very simple. What you're going to want to do is hit the slide button, slide for a bit, then jump. So it's going to give you more momentum and it's going to launch you forward into the air. Now, of course, when you land, you can also slide if you want to. So while you're in there, click this crouch button again and you'll get even more momentum and go even faster and even further. So this is just the start of the movement techniques in today's video. Make sure you master this and get this down properly. The next tech I would love to show you is actually during gunfights. This is going to be the meta, and it has been the meta during all of beta. For when you're taking one-on-one fights, it's going to mess up your opponent's aim assist and make it a lot harder to hit you. So what you're going to want to do is jump from right to left or left to right when you're in a gunfight like this. Now, of course, make sure you're accurate, because one of the most important things in Apex is one clipping enemies. So while you're jumping, make sure your crosshairs on them. So don't completely spam the jump button, just do it so it's controllable for you, and make sure you're able to hit the shots. And this is going to make you a lot harder to hit, and like I said earlier, mess up your opponent's aim assist. So that's the meta for gunfights right now. You can also crouch spam, which, I mean, I think it's all right. Not my favorite. I think the reason I don't like this that much is because when you crouch, sometimes enemies are aiming a little bit lower, and you're just going to lower your body into their crosshair and get headshotted. You could do crouching at range. I feel like that's a bit better. Anyways, let's move on to our next technique. Next up, we have one of my favorite things to do when someone's chasing me, especially if I'm on an incline. I like to slide, turn around, and spray them down while I'm sliding. It's going to make me a lot harder to hit, and being harder to hit while you're shooting is obviously a massive advantage. I just don't see enough people doing this. And you can also do this off edges, kind of similar to this, and just bounce off the edge like that. So that's another very simple movement technique that I like to use. And that's pretty much it for the very basics. Like I said, I'm just kind of breezing through this. Maybe I'll do more tutorials in the future, going in depth on each one of these and just different situations you can use them in. But for right now, I'm going to talk to you guys about wall bouncing, and it's not that hard. It just takes a little bit of practice. This is one of those ones that you won't be able to get right away. So what you want to do for this pretty much is find a wall that's decently tall. If it's about this tall, it'll just make you climb it, right? So like I said, I just climbed it there. I didn't even bounce off of it. So the trick to doing this is you want to run forward, get some momentum, make sure you have momentum, and then jump in the air, and then let go of the movement pad right when you're in the air. So like that, you just let go of it while you're in the air, and right when you're about to touch the wall, you want to spam the jump button. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do it right now. So I'm going to sprint, hit the jump button, and bam, I just launched myself off the wall there. If you want to bounce further, you can actually turn it into a slide jump similar to that. You see how I bounced a lot farther than I did before. So make sure you guys practice this. It's going to be hard to actually implement in game if you don't just grind it out in free practice, because a lot of the times there's different obstacles in game and you're in different locations and it gets awkward sometimes. But if you're able to execute it, it works extremely well. Say for example, there's an enemy right here. I'm going to want to slide, jump, and then bounce off, and I'll land behind him. So that is the situation in which you want to actually use this movement technique. And make sure that you jump early enough in front of walls that you don't land right on the edge here, because it'll make you mantle, that you land lower around right there. So I'm going to want to jump around right here, and then I'm going to have a perfect bounce off the wall. Next up, we're going to talk about B-hopping. There is infinite B-hopping, which I'm not going to include in this video because that's going to be a whole video by itself. Maybe I'll mention it briefly, but I just want to talk about B-hopping really fast. And the way you want to do this is you want to slide jump while you're in the air, click the crouch button again so that you land coming into a slide. And this is just going to give you momentum, and you're going to want to do that as many times as possible. And that's how you B-hop on mobile. So I'll show you right now. I'll B-hop straight across here. As you can see, that's the way. You can do it as many times as you like, and there's a way to do this infinitely, which I'm going to show you right now. And everyone does this a little bit differently, but the way I do it is I go to one direction and then I flick my screen in a circular motion right when I'm coming up from it, and that just seems to launch my body in the air for some reason, and it just gives me more momentum. So that's what I do. I'll show you right now. So as you can see, that is somewhat it. I'm not amazing at it, but I definitely will make a video explaining very in depth and very easily how to do it in the future. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Anyways, let's move on to our next movement tech, and this is actually going to be for zip lines. So I am going to explain zip lines to you while I'm in a game here. There's one other squad left. I have no idea where they're at, so I have some time. And the way I like to do my zipline tricks is I like to look upwards and then spam the zipline button and pull back. So that's going to get you up vertical zip lines as fast as you possibly can. As you can see right there, just spam it. It should bounce you from floor to floor, and you'll get up super fast, and it's actually extremely hard to hit you because you're bouncing against the wall back to the zip line. So it looks really weird on the opponent's screen, and that's the best way to get up. And also, if you're going across a horizontal zip line, these guys are shooting at me, like the one like this, all you have to do is spam the up button, and it's going to make you a lot harder to hit. You're going to go across a little bit slower, but you are just going to be insanely hard to hit. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.